Yeah.
All right, everybody. Hello. We are here, the Comic Book Community Fantasy Football League Hangout. Now, our fearless leader, Brian, is unable to join us this week, but you got me and you got Zach, and hopefully some other people will be jumping in. And what we were just discussing, me and Zach, were Jacksonville trading James Robinson to the Jets and about ETN and what Robinson could have done in Jacksonville.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, it didn't seem like Peterson even wanted to attempt a two-back system. Like, it was all Robinson at first, kind of a mismatch mix and match for a week, and then it was all Etienne. Like, I think in the game last week, they threw to Robinson one time, and that was his only statistic.
Yeah, it was kind of ridiculous, honestly. I mean, that it was just. I think that boils down to coaching as well, because I mean, you have to know how to coach these guys. So, and know when to put them in and when not to put them in. Right. With ETN in college, I mean, he was the main guy. He was straight up the guy. So I think he flourishes on that type of use.
He definitely does, but the problem is what happens if he, in the ultimate scenario, is he's going to get hurt one day. But I mean, I don't know. Probably better to cut him loose, and because I think Robinson can be a benefit to the Jets pretty quickly too. Like you said, not this week probably. He might switch in a little, but I think he could turn into a prime back there.
I don't want him to, because I have Michael Carter as my lead back in another league. Hey, Chris.
Hey,
boys.
How's it going?
Repping the best team in the league right there. Fantasy and real.
Thank you.
Well, we'll show everybody the standings here in a little bit, but I mean, yeah, your team is on another level.
Yeah,
it's just your fantasy team is crazy.
I gotta admit, I tried to upgrade today. I tried to upgrade. Tylox has Tyler Boyd, so I decided to reach out after today's big news and quietly say, "Hey, man, you interested in Juju for Tyler Boyd?"
It's kind of weird. T. Higgins all of a sudden is supposed to get a few extra fantasy points this week.
Yeah. And
weirdly, Joe Burrow is supposed to get a few less.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. Yeah. Yeah, well, it's but that's football, right? Like they keep injuries quiet until they can't. Yeah. And all things concerning, the league lost a major talent for 4 to 6 weeks, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Major talent loss. Yeah.
One of my friends sent me the article, and my initial reaction was, "Wow, that's a game changer! Immediate game changer."
Yeah, just like looking on Twitter and look at other fantasy leagues that I'm in, but like guys who have hit obviously chases either a keeper or first round pick, easily. And like guys are just hanging their heads like dude, like this major loss. I don't want to say it's a catastrophe because there is talent on most waiver wires, especially. But right now in the middle of bye season, I call this bye season. It's slim pickings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially in our league.
Yeah, coupled with a 14-team league.
Yeah. 14.
There's not a whole lot out there.
I'll tell you, this is my first time in a 14-team league. I've been in a 112 before, and hey, Steve. And I've done okay, and mainly been in 10-man leagues. 8s. I've been in some 8s, and I'm in one now, but it's kind of just like a fun one. It's really nothing serious. I mean, it was even auto draft
team stuff.
But 18 leagues. I mean, I just picked up Devontae Smith off the waiver wire. I mean, come on. Right. But I did not draft. I did not prepare myself for this draft at all, and I instantly regret it. Well, I don't instantly, but I regretted it. So I didn't take into account everything. So
I'm in a 16 team keeper league. And let me tell you, players like offensive players that are taken in the second round of the NFL draft are first round picks. Like it's incredible. The one thing I would love to get into, much like hockey, I would love to get into a salary cap football league.
Ooh,
And
that would be
I would, and I'm not, and I don't really want to trail away from our league because our league is actually incredibly fun.
Oh,
But I would love one day just to get into
get
into a fantasy league based on salaries with a salary cap, and you're allowed to have, say, with football, say potentially allowed to have $180 million in cap space, but you can only field, say, 125 million. I have that in hockey. I've been in some rotisserie baseball leagues like that before, and baseball is a different animal. But yeah, I've often wanted to go that way. Now, personally, right now, I'm only in 2 leagues where we don't field defensive players. This one, and another league, and coincidentally, both of them are just 1-year leagues. Like, this is, from what I'm understanding, this is not a keeper league, or at least not up to this point. It's not a keeper league. But yeah, those are things I think about, because right now I got 5 leagues going, and this league I'm doing well. The other league, where it's a non-keeper league, non-defensive league, I'm doing well. The 3 other leagues, I'm like 500, and like one other league, I'm 1 game above 500, and that's the league that I actually won last year, the 16-team keeper league, both offense and defense, special teams, and kicker. But yeah, this league is just. I knew it was going to be fun, but not to this level. And I really think our group chat really just lifts it all. Like, guys throwing Instagram stories and GIFs and links to Twitter and all that stuff. And, it's a lot of fun. But like I said earlier today, I tried to see if Tylox heard the news about Jamar Chase and that. So I threw that little fish out there, not knowing, obviously, Juju had a good game. But Juju is not like Tyler Boyd kind of thing. Juju's not going to get the looks that Tyler Boyd's going to. But I thought maybe.
Wait. 2 Tylocks.
But
I was Instagram friend too,
an hour ago. So I've been, but one thing that surprised me about our chat was I thought that they would be like kind of half and half talking about football, half about comic books. We're talking football, and honestly, it's a relief to see this many people that love comics and also love football and are knowledgeable in football. It's actually great. It's awesome.
Who posted it the other day? Somebody posted a comic thing and said, and apologized for doing it. Like, sorry to bring oh, was that you?
Yeah. No, the reason being is
that was kind of funny. That's when I realized, like, wow, this has been solely about football up to this point.
Yeah, I really picked up on that. And like, basically since day one, there hasn't been that many links to our like comic book stuff dropped in the chat. It like the odd ones happened. But it's mostly not like Alan said, it's been, I would say, about 97% football. But Wheelchair Superhero 87 just finished a live stream. I saw that he was literally on 100 subscribers. And I thought, this is an injustice. This is a kid who's out there giving it his all. I know his sister is behind the scenes as well, holding his hand along the way. Let's just see if I can get some of my football brothers to go over and link them up. That's the only, and that's why I said I want to apologize for doing this, because I know like it's been so focused on football that I actually wanted to apologize for bringing something comic book oriented into it. And obviously that was okay. Let's just try and boost up Kyle a little bit, get a couple more subscribers to him. Like he's putting out good content for everything that's going on in his life. He's putting out good content. So I just wanted to share that with my football brethren. And he ended up getting a couple subscribers out of it. But yeah, it's like Zach's, like you said, I kind of felt like, a penguin, trying to get a suntan. Like it just didn't feel natural.
Yeah, and then I didn't even, but then it was when it happened. It's like, wow, I just noticed that like there hasn't been anything non-football that I can recall.
Mm-hmm.
And like even doing other leagues, it was never like that. Everybody was always throwing other stuff in there, but it's just. But that's why it's really cool. Plus, I think what makes it better is the craziness of this season. Like, everything that's happening probably shouldn't be happening.
No.
Like
Yeah.
we're witnessing things that I never thought I'd see.
Yeah,
Like Matt Ryan getting benched.
someone said 28. Like that, not 28 threes following him around. I thought I saw like some sort of thing like he's played.
It's
I forget how they broke it down again. NFL memes on Twitter and NFL memes on Instagram.
they are
they just troll the hell.
they are
Troll the hell out of.
And
out of Matt Ryan.
we were looking at I was watching some pregame stuff, and they were talking about Tom Brady, and they were talking about his numbers. His numbers aren't bad.
No,
they're not bad. They're actually good.
Yes,
it's just they're the worst rushing team since 1950.
Yeah.
And Mike, let's talk about Mike Evans last week. My God, he was gone to the races.
Yeah.
But every year there's always that one. Like I remember Juju. I can remember Stevie Johnson in the end zone against the Pittsburgh Steelers about 10, 12 years ago. Wide open, fell to his bum to catch the ball, and it literally just popped out. It happens. Yeah. But yeah, that just seems to be Tom Brady's luck this year. You know, with everything going on in his personal life, and Antonio Brown trolling the hell out of this man's personal life.
He needs to. I mean, I used to be a big Antonio Brown supporter. I was like, hey, man, he got whopped in the head against Cincinnati. Vontaze Burfict messed him up, in my opinion. And he's just never been right since. But I've been a supporter. But now, I mean, how can you?
Dude, he is so off the rails.
Yeah.
He's a living reality show.
Yeah.
There you go.
Like one of my friends has a picture. She saved it to her phone. It's one of those old days since last accident thing, but it's days since last Antonio Brown incident 0. And so whenever she sees something that I haven't seen, I get that. I'm like, uh-oh, what happened? And then because he can't stand not being in the spotlight. It's like, wait a minute, Tom Brady's getting attention? Oh no, I'm going to swoop in and Photoshop his wife into my pictures.
His soon-to-be ex-wife, or well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, it isn't 100%, but
it's
yeah, I'm sure it is. But
end up with 3.5 Super Bowl rings. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
she can't take any of those.
No, I know, but
she's worth more than him. She's
worth more than he is.
Yeah, she's worth considerably more.
The mental image of them taking a bandsaw to a Super Bowl ring right in front of them is
Patriots
infinitely amusing to me.
Oh, he's gonna take. You know what? Just take that Seattle one because that was a gift anyway.
Yeah, or no, just take the Tampa one. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I know it won't happen. Just the image of it is hilarious to me.
But yeah, just expanding what you're saying. Every year we talk about injuries. Let's be honest. This guy being hurt, that guy being hurt. My God, he's gone for the year. ACL, MCL. You hate these things, but there's just Then there's Geno Smith, but there's so many things. Almost outside of football itself that's happening. Like I said, the Antonio Brown thing to me is just like, dude, like, don't go away mad. Just kind of go away. And then the whole Wilson stuff, and all that stuff. And now, Matt Ryan now losing his job, and that the kid that was with the Bears and then with the Bills last year, now he's with the Steelers.
Oh no, Quinn. They traded him to the Eagles.
No. The dude with the square jaw, the quarterback who went in and
Trubisky.
Yes, Mitch Trubisky. Thank you. Ended up taking them to a win and then still doesn't get the job.
Exactly. There have been two things in the past 2 weeks that were infinitely hilarious. Watching Mitch Trubisky beat Tom Brady, and then watching PJ Walker beat Tom Brady.
Oh.
Those have been the two best moments of this season.
So satisfying. And I'm sure, as a Ravens fan, it's satisfying because he's done nothing but haunted the AFC. Haunted the AFC. Yeah.
Like I'm sitting there, like, is PJ Walker really about to beat Tom Brady?
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
And then Antonio Brown said something about that too. Like it just doesn't
of course.
stop.
Why not?
I got the picture on the phone. Like, yep, there it is.
And so, if Roscoe wants to clip this, he should start now. I had purposely 2 weeks ago received two separate trade offers in one league. One was taking a third string or my own third string running back away for DK Metcalf. And the other one was an early pick straight up for who's Seattle's other receiver, the one with the beautiful hands.
Tyler Lockett.
Yes, Tyler Lockett. To me, Tyler Lockett is one of the best receivers in that division, if not the best receiver.
Unsung hero too.
Yeah. And so Roscoe, I was wrong about Geno Smith because those two receivers are having great years, and they both lifted me to wins because of what happened.
Well,
so I made the trade for them, and I'm like, oh, I still don't know about Seattle because I sat here at the beginning of the season like, my God, the Seahawks may not get to 3 or 4 wins.
I think we both said that, Chris.
Yeah, and Geno's looking fantastic.
Everybody thought Seattle was going to be the worst team in the league, like surefire number 1 overall pick, and no.
But that's just it. Geno Smith, like in my own defense, Geno Smith has been a journeyman quarterback. He's been a backup now for the last little bit, considered a flop out of arguably the worst quarterback draft in recent memory, a one that had EJ Manuel go, Geno Smith go. Like there was not that many good quarterbacks that lasted. And Geno Smith, like I make the joke, he could be the starting quarterback for the Montreal Alouettes up here in the CFL. And then, okay, somehow he fluked his way into starting in Seattle. I guess the Jets didn't work out for him. And anyways, I thought the Jets did better by picking up Joe Flacco, who I thought I still consider has one of the strongest arms in the NFL today.
You will address him by his proper title, that is Elite Joe Flacco.
Joe got paid. Title. I don't care what anyone says. Joe got paid, and
he got paid because he put together 4 games in a row when it mattered.
Yes,
and that's why Joe got paid.
And Joe survived the AFC North back in those days.
Oh, the Steelers Ravens was some of the best football going. Never mind Indianapolis and Patriots. Ravens Steelers was phenomenal.
That was to survive that for as long as he did. He gets big points.
But Geno Smith, he's early candidate for MVP of least the NFC.
Player.
Yeah. Oh yeah. At this point, that's wrapped up. As long as he's healthy and they finish 500 at least.
Actually, I don't know. He might have running if Saquon can stay healthy.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, because Saquon got injured last year. So if he stays healthy and is up in the top in scrimmage yards,
continues to be the monster he is, you're looking.
But the thing is, where has Geno Smith been in the last 3 or 4 years? Saquon, until he got hurt, was excellent. It basically came back and hasn't lost a step. Geno Smith has had to fight his way through going through the tire fire known as the New York Jets, and then ride the pine and then come my God. I was wrong. I was wrong.
It
but sometimes it doesn't
Geno Smith.
Geno's.
We can't get over it. And now he is a fantasy start. Straight up. You don't even question it anymore.
He's top 5 quarterback right now.
Start him.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'd start him over Aaron Rodgers at this point.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not saying that because the Bills are playing the Packers this weekend, but I'm just saying Rodgers hasn't been that good. Tom Brady's been better than Aaron Rodgers fantasy value.
Yes, he has.
Yeah,
and Rodgers ain't getting the flack. Rodgers calling out his receivers, but that's okay.
He's getting
Brady's getting all this blame.
And did we also see Lazard is gone?
Yep.
This week, yeah.
Because
Buffalo is going to
snap crackle pop in his shoulder.
Yeah.
Buffalo's going to beat them so bad that they're all going to have cheese coming out their heads. It is going to be bad.
Well, it's like I was saying before we started, what's going to happen to the Steelers against Philadelphia is going to be very much like what happened to them against Buffalo. It's not going to be pretty, but it's going to be a necessary thing that has to happen.
Yep. And for Philadelphia to still be considered where they are right now, they're undefeated. Are they not still best in the league?
Yeah, they're going to have to.
They have to literally beat the crap out of them. No mercy. No mercy. Run it up.
I firmly believe they will and are very able to, and I think it's going to happen, and it's going to be painful to watch. But
I
still think you should start Trubisky.
It doesn't matter. They could start prime Brett Favre running this offense, and nothing's going to happen. Not with the way that.
No. Here's the thing.
Was coaching.
Prime Brett Favre would change his helmet out after one series, so he doesn't have to listen to the offensive coordinator, and he call his own plays.
Right, but if he did, but you know what I mean. Like there is no quarterback in the NFL put into that offense and saying run it this way that would succeed. It is impossible.
They'd have to go off script.
Geno Smith.
No. Actually, he might thrive in a controlled environment like that. But the fact is, like, no, it doesn't matter if it's, Mitch Trubisky, Kenny Pickett, or the inflatable tube guy down at the car lot.
Yeah.
It's not going to be pretty.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, the season has been crazy. And to pile on the craziness, in my other league, the league where I'm the commissioner, I was offered 2 trades, and I will show you guys those trades once I get to it.
This ought to be good, actually.
Oh, okay. So in this league, I have had Lamar since he was a rookie, and it's a keeper league. It's a 10-man 2-keeper league, and I've had Lamar ever since he was a rookie. So I've had him on my team. I had a plan this year that I was going to draft Lamar, wait a couple weeks for him to put together some good numbers, and then dump him. That was my plan. That was my plan all along. And my other plan was, especially in my league, because you can put suspended players on IR. I wanted to draft Deshaun Watson.
Interesting.
So I did with the very last pick in the draft. And so I stashed him. And I got these 2 trades. Now, these were trades offered to me. Oh, that's not it. There we go. Share. Do you guys see it? I know it's a little small. So the first one was he traded me Mike Evans for Deshaun Watson.
Oh.
And I already have Stephon Diggs on my team.
You don't need any other receiver then.
Yeah.
So he's offering you Mike Evans.
And it already happened.
I'm just saying, I'm saying he offered up Mike Evans
for Deshaun Watson.
A first-round pick in most leagues.
In most leagues.
For Deshaun Watson, who's suspended for
another 3 weeks.
Yeah, for a guy that might play 5 games because everybody's
for a team right now that's like in a whole lot of trouble.
Week 11 is the first time he can come back, I think. Whenever they play Houston,
against Houston. Wow. And then this is the one that broke the camel's back. I traded away Lamar.
What
who in my league is 4th overall, 4th in his position, right? I got Matt Stafford, who is a bum right now.
Man, it is what it is.
Then I got next year's his 1st, 5th, and 7th round pick.
Wow.
So how many keepers per team in that particular league?
2.
Okay, so essentially that 1st round pick is a 3rd round pick, where if he doesn't keep Lamar, Lamar might be available to you then, or possibly with that 5th pick. If people don't go quarterback crazy in the first couple rounds.
Yeah, and normally the only quarterbacks that go early, like last year, the person that had Josh Allen did not keep him. We all called him crazy. He kept
a running quarterback.
But he kept Saquon Barkley and Nick Chubb.
All right.
There's an argument there, but
tough call.
It's a tough call, but he made it. And my girlfriend took the reins of a team that was abandoned because the guy that had it got deployed. So she had the number 1 pick, and she's like, "Well, who am I picking for?" You're picking Josh Allen. She's like, "Well, what about this?" No, Josh Allen. And she's like, "What about this? What about this?" I was like, "No, Josh Allen. That's it. Then you're done. Josh Allen, and he will never leave your team."
Yep.
And the Bills keep surrounding him with talent.
And they're going to get a running back. I seriously think they're going to trade for a running back yet.
I had heard the rumor.
I still think they want to see what James Cook can do before. But yeah, I thought
it would depend on the asking price. It would depend on the price, obviously. Yeah. But I think that especially with Kareem Hunt and Cam Akers available, that hat's not good. It's my old Ravens Super Bowl hat. I'm trying to think positive thoughts about my
Although-
team that's not good.
Although I don't think they should be very quick to give up on Singletary.
Yeah,
He's a good running back. He's just not being used, and that's why I'd heard the rumor they were making the play for. They were going to make a trade for, or get in on the CMC thing to try to get him.
I think they kicked the tires and just said no.
Yeah, I mean, there was the rumor.
Singletary has 10 more carries than Josh Allen. 10 more and has less rushing yards.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what I mean. Like,
Allen's leading, but Allen always leads the team now.
yeah,
Singletary, the second half of last year and the playoff run up until how it ended in overtime with the Chiefs, Singletary was a brand new running back, like was solid and basically took touches away from Zach Moss. And the Bills still have Zach Moss, and then they went out with the second pick and drafted James Cook, who is best known as a pass receiving or a pass catching running back, and who would think that you would fit in the system, but the Bills haven't used them that much, and I'm kind of thinking the Bills right now are going to do the same thing they did last year, just let Allen throw and run, and then some point mid-season. They're gonna let the reins off, or they're gonna let the reins off and let the running backs start to run and save Allen.
And I think the biggest reason why the Bills are the best team, I hate saying that a one-loss team is better than an undefeated team, but they haven't played each other yet. But I believe the Bills are the best team in the league because they have the best defense in the league all around, and they have Gabriel Davis. They didn't have him last year. I think he makes all the difference. All the difference in the world.
He's that one part. It's like
they had him all
every
along.
team that all of a sudden blows up, they needed that one part to plug in, and all of a sudden everything fires.
Yeah, I mean, they had Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley was great possession receiver, great.
Yep.
But he's not a home run hitter.
Right. He's not an over the top receiver.
Nope.
No.
He's good for the slot. He doesn't have that fifth gear that's just going to open up space between him and the nickel, or him and whatever the deep threat is. Whereas Gabe Davis can do that, much like on the other side. On the other side, Stephon Diggs can do the exact same thing. Like Stephon Diggs gets dirty yards too. Like Stephon Diggs goes across the middle. Well, and as a Bills fan, it's scary as hell. But it happens.
He's still the leader in receptions on the team, which is great. And I think he's going to continue. He's going to get 14 targets a game. That's just the way that is.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're paying him enough. He might as well.
Right.
Well, that's just it.
If I had him as an option, I'd throw it him 14 times a game.
Yeah.
Because chances are he's going to bust at least one of them.
Yep.
And
But yeah, Gabe Davis has been with the Bills for 3 or 4 years, and it was much like Stevie Johnson beforehand. They kept bringing in a sexy receiver, not realizing what they had properly until you throw him out into a big game and see what he can do. Like once the Bills brought in T.O. and they sat Stevie Johnson down, and then T.O. left, and Stevie Johnson got his chance, and he became one of the best route runners I've ever seen live. And then it was the same thing with Gabe Davis. Last year, the Bills brought in, I forget that guy's name, former Bronco, another deep threat. Either way, it was the same thing. And Davis finally, near the end of the season, started getting the looks. So now they have Gabe Davis, Stephon Diggs, but they also have Isaiah McKenzie, who is the speedster of the trio, of the trio, who often will line up as a running back and then go out to the end, or go to the hash marks and try and hang a left.
But the defense is you now have Gabe Davis, who has cemented himself as a playmaker. You have to account for that. You obviously have to account for Stephon Diggs. You obviously have to account for Josh Allen. Isaiah McKenzie's the guy that gets forgot about.
Right, because Dawson Knox is there too.
Yeah, we're not there yet. We're going to work to the tight end. We're working our way there.
Because between Davis and Diggs, you have to commit 3 guys.
Yes.
You have
100%. And whoever you put the double team on, the other guy's getting the look.
Yeah, so that means you're already down a player. You're going to need to keep at least one spy on Allen. And probably a fast one at that because he can move. So then, yeah, here comes Knox. Here comes McKenzie.
Or he'll jump over you.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to talk about how Von Miller shut down the Kansas City game. He finished it, which he did. He did with all his pressure and everything. But the Bills left a lot of points on the field.
They really did.
They did. That game should not have been close.
Yeah.
Because this Bills defense is legit. It's going to lead the league. I believe at the end of the season, the Bills are going to be 1 or 2 in offense because the Eagles are, they're just as good with just as many weapons.
Yep.
It's
and
crazy.
Jalen Hurts is playing some football right now.
Like I'll tell you, I so hope it's the Eagles and the Bills in the Super Bowl.
Oh my God.
I want that so
that
bad.
would be a dream Super Bowl.
Mhm.
It would.
Oh.
Because it would be a great game. You're going to see bits and pieces of offensive outbursts, great defensive plays on both sides. It would be amazing.
Mhm.
I'd be rooting against my uncle's wishes. I would be rooting for the Bills because they've never won a Super Bowl. I want to see it. I'm not that kind of guy. I usually root for the underdog anyway. So
Yeah, when I was an Eagles fan, but for the Super Bowl, but it could have been the Toronto Argonauts. Anyone going up against Tom Brady? Hey man, I've been a Giants fan. I've been an Eagles fan.
Yeah. Anybody that plays against Tom Brady, I'm a fan of, except for Patrick Mahomes. I hate that guy.
So you're ready to build a shrine to Eli Manning.
Hey man, I'm not. And Mario Manningham and David Tyree.
David Tyree, who writes children's books now, by the way.
Yes. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. I remember I watched a 30 and 30 or something on it was the helmet catch and him, and it showed him after football.
And he never caught another pass.
Nope.
Yeah, because his personal life spun out of control. But yeah, he's now rebounded and turned his life around, and God bless him for that.
Yeah,
but
it's good to see those stories.
But let's be honest, as football fans, Eli Manning has 2 of arguably the best football passes in Super Bowl history. First one, David Tyree, and then Manningham going along the sideline there.
Oh, beautiful!
My God! And what Eli had to get through to throw to Tyree.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh, like his jersey being almost ripped off the back of him.
Like consider Eli Manning a top tier quarterback.
In today's NFL, he would have been in the grass. That would have been a sack. He would have been in the grass, done. They would have blew the whistle already.
Yeah, but back in the day when they were allowed to play,
and
and man, he could play ball.
He could.
Tom Brady,
big time player.
Tom Brady even said he would trade most of his Super Bowl rings for that one. For the 19-0 one.
Yeah. Oh, I was very upset that game. I wasn't rooting for the Giants that game because when the Patriots were 5-0, I put a $50 bet on them going undefeated, winning the Super Bowl at 100-1.
Holy God!
I thought it was a lock. I thought I was going to get $5,000 in my pocket. I was foaming at
stacked. Ty Law was still there, man. Randy Moss, they had a great team, and I can remember. Growing up, for me, the rivalry was always the Miami Dolphins as a Bills fan. It wasn't the Patriots. The Patriots weren't what they are today.
No.
It's always been
nasty.
It's always been Buffalo, Miami.
Mm-hmm.
So the one thing that still to this day irritates me is the 72 team getting together to jinx whatever undefeated team is left. So the Patriots were doing that when the Patriots were steamrolling. And then the Giants almost beat them at, I believe, the second last game of the regular season.
It was the last game.
Was the last game. They came very close to it. I kind of thought they better hope they don't see the Giants in the Super Bowl. However, I want the Patriots to shut up the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
But when that play happened, when Eli Manning threw to David Tyree, and he caught that ball there, and then they showed the replay and the slow-mo, it's just like, the Giants have to do this now. That can't be squandered. We can't lose a play like that for this. Like they're special. They're special, and it turned out they were.
And then
and it's like the Tom Brady comeback against Atlanta, which we all know all the crap that happened. I blame a lot on Mike Shanahan, but that catch that Edelman made,
yeah,
like that's
the bouncing
inhuman.
one. Yeah.
Like, how do you have that much concentration in that much time? I mean, it was like that. That's how fast that is, and he had that much concentration to take it, pull it off the ground, catch it, and keep a hold of it.
Yeah. I feel
boggles my
of
mind.
all the rings, that's the one the Patriots, I'm not saying Tom Brady, but that's the one the Patriots should be most proud of, because that was a team effort right across the board. That wasn't just Tom Brady being Tom Brady. That was everybody doing everything proper.
Yeah.
You have 28-3. That's not going to be going away anytime soon for our generation. That's for sure.
No.
It's
so your running back has 70 yards in the first half. Yeah, let's just not run him at all in the second half.
That's what I mean. Like,
what are you doing? He's eating them alive.
The other crazy Super Bowl stat that I often talk about is when Big Dick Nick shut down the Patriots. Tom Brady threw over 500 yards in that game.
Yep.
When the Eagles beat the Patriots, he threw over 500 yards, and that was just madness. But the Eagles, they just I'm not one that speaks about momentum, but that was just one of those games you could see the Eagles just weren't going to stop. It was just they wanted it so bad. And
but the thing was the Eagles were underdogs in every single playoff game that year. Every single one, playing at home.
It's good for that city. It's good for that city. That fan base needed something. That city needed something. I don't think believe the Phillies had won the World Series in the 80s, and then the Flyers did back-to-back 74-75 in hockey, and obviously the Eagles had never won a Super Bowl. But I know that I remember when T.O. went to the Super Bowl on that busted ankle or whatever, and still had a hell of a game, and they deserved it. And like I'll proudly say I was an Eagles fan that day.
I blame McNabb for that Super Bowl.
Yeah. 100%. T.O. was a monster that game.
Everybody looks down on T.O. for that game because he blames McNabb. But look at his stats. They're better than Edelman's. Wasn't Edelman it was Edelman it was Branch that won the MVP.
Yeah.
Branch won the MVP.
Deion Branch,
and T.O.'s stats were better than his. Come on. How can you not be down on him? I mean, and what T.O. had to go through to get back to that game.
With that ankle. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who is Kenneth Walker? I'll tell you who is Kenneth Walker. Get out of here.
Get out of here. That's who has it. Whoever has him probably isn't going to let him go anytime soon.
Yeah, I know who has him. The same guy who had him when he went ham on me last week.
Oh.
If I'm not mistaken.
Let's take a look at this.
I'm just going to check something real quick here.
Okay.
Let's take a look at the standings.
Oh, come on. Fantasy, want me to get angry.
Load. Chris's team is just obliterating everybody. You got Comic Vet in the lead in the West with Beckerman's Bums, who has a tie, which is way worse than kissing your sister.
I don't know where that came from.
We've had two of them. We've had two ties this year. Two. But TK all day, he is putting in, and well, pretty much everyone else in the East has the same record. So,
yeah.
But this is the stat right here: 877 points. That's the closest guys at 814. That's crazy.
Oh, Roscoe's doing well. What's Roscoe's offense at right now?
807.
Yeah. I had a good Monday night as well.
Well, that's true. That is true. And so who we got the scoreboard? Let's take a look. So this week I'm going up against Roscoe.
Good luck.
He's starting Ellinger.
Okay.
I
All
mean,
right.
So he must be getting hit by the bye bug.
Let's take a look at the matchup here.
either that or maybe it's like, well, Matt Ryan's done. May as well try him.
So,
Or actually, has he actually set his lineup properly?
actually, yeah, he is getting bit by the bye bug. Travis
Okay.
Kelce, Justin Herbert, and Gerald Everett all on bye.
That hurts. That hurts.
Yeah. But he still has C-Mac, Gabe Davis, who we're talking about, Kate Otten tonight, who I think might have a breakout game. He's going to have to take out Lazard because he ain't playing.
Yeah.
And
If he sees that, take him out.
Yeah. So that's that game. I might have a chance. Depends on what Lamar does. Then we have, let's go to Zach's team. Where you at, Zach?
I don't know. I'm a little more confident this week. I'm playing Cuppy, I think. Yeah, Cuppy's.
Okay. Cuppy's Heroes.
I am the name redacted.
So you have Joe Burrow, Nick Chubb, Devin Singler, George Pickens, Michael Gallup. Maybe he'll catch a pass this week.
Dude, 2 targets last week. 2.
What's up with that?
Noah Brown. They like Noah Brown. And he's yeah.
Yeah. Will Dak look at him though? Like, yeah.
Bring back Cooper Rush at this point. He's throwing them.
But yeah, you're looking like a pretty good team except for this right here. They're playing. That's a big pointer for them.
Yeah, that's
could be.
Yeah, but look at who the other defense I have on my bench is. The Steelers against that offense, not a chance.
Why not?
Against the Eagles?
Yeah.
Good God. I want to
go big or go home.
I'll take 2 points over -8.
Well said, Zach. Well said.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. You don't want that defense that's going to be out there for 45 minutes of a game, right?
No, you don't. So we have amazingly enough, we have a battle of the 2 division leaders.
Ooh.
Comic Vet and TK All Day, who's playing Andy Dalton. Oh, look at that. Oh, is Patrick Mahomes on bye? Jamar
Sometimes
Chase
you
is
just
out.
flip your way into nice matchups.
So he's playing the Red Rocket?
Hey, I can't say nothing bad about Andy Dalton. As
No,
a Bills fan, I will never say a bad word about Andy Dalton.
I am a huge fan of Andy Dalton. Even though they lost last week and he kind of had a few too many interceptions, he went nuts.
Yeah.
It's like, man, that's the Andy Dalton that scared the crap out of me when he played for the Bengals.
And aside from Josh Allen, the biggest point getter for Chris is this guy right here, who Nick the comic nerd was temporarily brain damaged. I think. I want to say he was
going. What's going to be
Mike
hilarious?
Williams had a good week last week. I think I played him.
And Mike Williams had a good week. He won't have a good week in the next coming weeks because he's injured. But I still can't believe he made that trade. Oh gosh! And he honestly thought Jalen Waddle was going to have a better season.
Well, I mean. It's kind of funny looking at it now. Do we remember a couple weeks ago all of the pundits saying Tyreek Hill must have CTE, Tua doesn't have the deep ball arm? Well,
it's yards after catch.
Yeah, it's like, well, I don't think it matters. And to be fair, I'm shocked that Tyreek Hill is playing as professionally as he is. Like attitude-wise, I am shocked. I thought he'd have gone full-blown diva 2 weeks ago.
I watched or I pay attention a lot of tweets during games, and when the Bills played the Chiefs, everyone was saying, "Hey, Chiefs fans, this is why you shouldn't have made that trade. That's why you shouldn't have let him go, because now you're feeling it." You know, he's always been the X factor against the Bills when he's beat the Bills, in my opinion, 2 different times, and both times were in the playoffs. But the Chiefs didn't have it this particular go around for I know it's still the regular season, but you kind of wonder, are they going to miss it? But the only thing I don't like that Tyreek Hill did was turn around and said that Tua is the best quarterback ever thrown to him. I'm like, dude, I'm a Bills fan, and even I think that's silly. Come on,
that's incredible.
No, he didn't say he was the best. Said he was the most accurate.
He said he was the most accurate. I thought he said he was the best.
I was pretty sure it was the most accurate. We'll have to look that up.
Yeah,
But
still,
either way, if
tugging
that's the
on
worst
Superman's
thing he's
cape.
done this year, that is a tame year from him. But I mean, the one thing after they traded him and then they signed Juju, I said to myself, the one thing they're going to immediately find out, Juju Smith-Schuster, Tyreek Hill, he ain't.
Nope.
Diva, yes. Tyreek Hill, no. That whole dancing and the TikToking in the middle of everyone's
let him go and hang out with
year.
Jackson Mahomes. They'll be friends.
Yeah, they're buddies.
It's like he's your problem now, Andy Reid.
No, I believe that I know that it's easy for the weapons that Kansas City has to get open, but he was that one. Tyreek Hill was that weapon where he would go downfield, and with his speed, Mahomes could run around and throw up the worst duck, most off-target pass. Hill was just going to go get it. And, I mean, I'm not saying Tyreek made Patrick Mahomes because that'd be an idiotic statement.
No.
Patrick Mahomes is a good quarterback. I'm not going to say he's great until he plays for another coach because Andy Reid is a genius. All right? That's just the way it is.
Yeah, period.
So until he plays for another quarterback, another coach, I'm not going to say that he is all that in a bag of chips.
No, but he's a good quarterback.
He is a good quarterback.
He's a very good quarterback.
I think he's this new generation's Brett Favre without the weight. And I mean, without the body weight, without the structure. Because he's sidearms, he shovels, he's like going across the field when he shouldn't be going across the field, scrambles, and he's just a slimmer Brett Favre to me.
But I mean, those mistakes though, going across the middle when you're not supposed to, they're coming back to bite him because he's starting to turn the ball over more.
But
not a lot more.
But what was it at that point that his mother said that they shouldn't count against him because it was the receiver's fault?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, dude. The only one you haven't heard a word from is the old man. Is Pat.
Because he's not dumb.
Because Pat went through it. Pat was, he was a journeyman baseball player for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Nope. Ain't saying nothing.
But even though being a journeyman, even if you are journeyman and you play a long time, you still have something to offer because you're still playing.
That's what I mean. He had a long career.
Like Fitzmagic.
Near the end of his career, I think he's going to spend some time with the Pirates. Near the end of his, like I say, for baseball player, I think 12, 13 years he was playing. He had a good career.
Yep.
But he ain't saying a word.
No. So, Chris, what slab you going to get? We need to know. When you win, what slab you going to get?
No. Let's not do that. I'm one Josh Allen injury away from last place.
I didn't say that. I will have the record state. I didn't say anything about that.
Right. When it happens, you can come back to this moment in the video, 48 minutes around thereof, and realize it was him that said it. We sat here and listened to it.
Yeah, that's when Tyreek Hill will become available for a number 2 receiver and a decent quarterback.
That's when Tyreek Hill,
Lamar Jackson, and everyone else.
I had Lamar on a couple teams. I have no problem with Lamar. And in fact, Derek Carr is my backup to Lamar.
Hill, and that's it.
Yeah.
My season is pretty much done. I have to win out. If I don't win out, then I don't think I have a chance at the playoffs.
Brian, you're a savage.
Wow. But you won the Gladden cover. Yes.
Oh, there you go. Hey, now we know what part of the off-season celebrations is.
Whoever wins
gets photoshopped onto Madden.
Yes,
we can do that. That's a thing.
Yeah,
we
somebody
can
do that easily.
That's a pretty good idea.
One of those right about to get hit in the face with a football.
Yeah, like whoever wins, whatever slab they want, take a picture with the slab, and then like a football in the background just coming out the back of their head, and we'll see. Cole, when is the Grand Rapids Comic-Con again? My gut was telling me that it's like November.
I think so. Chang's gonna be there.
Okay.
I saw him put that on one of his Instagram posts.
Mhm.
But next year, I want to be involved with or start one of those elimination type leagues where you take one team and you can only pick that team once all year, and you just pick one winner every week, and you lose
Oh,
your
a
out.
suicide league.
Yeah, I've been
Suicide,
in a
yes.
couple of those. Those are a lot of fun.
So
They're
the best
right.
the best league that one of the best fun leagues I've been in is a suicide fantasy league where 12 teams draft and the team with the worst record gets eliminated after week 1 and all their teams get put onto the waiver wire and it goes from there and there and
Can you
there.
imagine a
So there is
14
no
league
like
with
true
that?
championship. It's just war of attrition and smart waiver wire play, because you don't necessarily always want to like try and upgrade or to get caught up in a sexy name. I've been a part of a league like that before and lasted basically just over the halfway point. The second or third week of the buy bug killed me, and that was just it. Not necessarily where I got bit, just the other guy just had way more like Pro Bowlers starting than what I did. And so, yeah, generally speaking, you don't want to play defense. You don't want to be doing this kind of league with defensive players. Just go with the DST kind of thing, much like what we're in right now. But once the worst team or the worst numbered point value for the week. So, for example, if Allen beat me like 118 to 117, but my 117 was the worst offensive number for the league that week, I'm eliminated, and all my players, a commissioner puts them on the waiver wire, and then come Wednesday, it's a feeding frenzy if you want to participate.
Tyler,
And the kicker is
trade any Bengals receivers to anybody. Do not. No. You keep forever. Sorry.
Keep them. They will get a lot of targets this week.
Yeah, I tried my luck with Tylox today. Go back and watch the rewind, Tylox. I admit it. I try to weasel my way into your team. But yeah, those can be fun leagues.
Yeah, I read it. So Beckerman, my brother, shouldn't you figure out how to play fantasy football before trying other leagues? Yes, my brother. I faced off against him last week. It was bad, like on both sides. We both put up next to no points, and I was on the worst end of it. Yes, I lost. I don't know what I have never had to. Like I said, this is the first time in a 14-man league. It is definitely foreign country, and definitely being on the bottom is foreign country. But that's all right. I'm gonna tough through it. I'm gonna get through it. I have faith. I just need Derrick Henry to play like Derrick Henry. Honestly, I mean, I need my first round of pick to score 20 points a week. I mean, is that too much to ask? I mean, come on.
Is it too much to ask that players actually do what they should be doing?
Yeah.
Like, who would have thought Jonathan Taylor would have been doing basically nothing this season?
Oh, that was probably the biggest.
I immediately Googled the Bengals.
and I only had heard the news for about 30 minutes before I reached out to Tylox. I think I heard about it on. I always listen to the Buffalo Sports channel, in the afternoon for Bills talk and everything, and they just said this just in. Jamar Chase has gone 4 to 6 weeks, and I'm like, all right, let's take a look at my deep leagues. Let's look at my 18 or my 16 team league. Let's look at this. Okay, let's get to the comic book league. Tylox has it.
I immediately thought, wow, T. Higgins is going to get some more looks this week.
Yeah. But yeah, it's Cincinnati's going to be in tough. They're going to be in tough. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah, they'll
because Jamar Chase, he takes away a lot of coverages though, and it opens up a lot of things for those guys.
That's the thing.
And are they going to? I think the guy that's going to benefit the most, 100%, the guy benefiting the most is going to be Hayden Hurst.
Yeah,
probably.
I think he's going to get more catches, more looks, and he's going to turn it into more yards because the guy can play. He's a former first-round pick. He can play. And I think he'll benefit the most. And then the guy second most would be Nick Mixon.
Yeah,
I think Mixon. Yeah, I think Mixon's going to look to see Mixon get like 1 to 2 touches per friggin' set at this point now. Like,
yes.
Yep. Yeah. Nick, my man.
Oh, weird. The injury bugs bounce, but it's not so much. It's like the fact that there's always so many early season-ending injuries, especially amongst the young guys.
Well, now I think that they went to 3 preseason games.
Yeah,
Everybody's
in order
in
to get
that
rid of the
routine
injuries.
4, where in that third one they play almost a little over a half. Well, now they're not doing that. It's not going to. Well, you can't just go from not playing to playing.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't see. I mean, I'm not a football player, but I don't see how you could adjust your body like that. Your body,
you can't. It's
right. And the perfect example of that is the Rams. Like that Rams game, that Thursday nighter against the Bills, they didn't look good at all. And I'm not saying that as a Bills fan. They just looked out of like they didn't have their football IQ lined up. Like everything was just out of the ordinary. And that's not the type of team that Sean runs. Let's be honest. Like that team is usually always on time for everything. If they lose, they don't get destroyed.
And the Rams just haven't looked like they're firing on all cylinders the whole season.
Matt Stafford's been exposed for what he really is. Like,
exactly. But
I've been watching Matt Stafford with the Lions for a while. He's good for like him and Fitzpatrick. Good for like 6 to 10 picks a year. Let's be honest, at the most inopportune time.
But
and
he had his 1 year and he made the most of it. So
well, I think with that team, what hurt was Robert Woods. And they thought Allen Robinson was going to take over that. And, well, now you see Robert Woods is a better number 2 than Allen Robinson. Yeah. I think Allen Robinson's a prima donna, too. And he thinks he's better than what he actually is.
Well, that's a going thing in the NFL sometimes. It's just – and now we have the owners fighting, which is hilarious.
Yes.
Awesome.
I love that.
I just want one day to see them coming out of the owner's room, Kraft with a bloody lip and a hand over his eye, Jerry Jones coming out wrapping up bloody knuckles with a handkerchief. It's like I want that. I don't care if the Steelers lose out the season. I want to see Jerry Jones pop Robert Kraft right in the face.
Or Dan Snyder.
Oh, actually, they're probably just gonna kill and bury Dan Snyder.
Dan Snyder. I love what he said. He's like, they can't kick me out of here. I was like, did you not,
dude? Like, what's your Constitution say?
Yes, they can.
They sure can.
I guess my question is, he's like, I have dirt on all of them. What do you have that we don't already know?
What do you got on the Bagulas, man? You got to come out and drag a woman? Like, let's be honest, right? Like,
we know Robert Kraft likes to go to massage parlors. We know Jerry Jones is a psychopath. We know this. There's nothing you can find out. Nobody that we don't already know.
Say about Robert Kraft, like he just got remarried.
Yeah.
Mistake Tom Brady. But anyways, like,
like what supposed dirt on these owners does he have that they haven't already owned up to?
Yeah, that's nonsense. Let's be honest. But let's ask a question to you two, and I'm also going to send the question to everyone that's hanging out in the chat right now watching us. If Dan Snyder loses his franchise, and if you picked up that franchise, would you consider changing the name of the Commanders to something else?
Yes.
Chat.
I actually preferred the Washington football team.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad.
I kind of think all teams should be that.
Well, it's the way professional soccer is around the globe. Let's be honest, right? It's just whatever city or whatever borough that you're a part of.
Yeah,
it's that, and whether it's if they refer to themselves as a football club or a football association, whatever it is. Generally speaking, it's just whatever sport they identify with, and then how the team came together. But yeah, when I heard Commanders, I'm like, okay, if you're going to go that military route because you're so close to the naval base in Arlington and everything there, okay, but they didn't do anything to identify military-wise.
No.
They same colors, everything, and then just change the name. And I'm just like, it's awful.
There were a couple names floating around. I like the Red Wolves would have been cool. The Red Hogs would have been cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they didn't just go to the Hogs. I mean, why not?
That's what they were known for in the 80s. The Hogs.
Exactly.
Everybody knows the Hogs.
Yeah. Tylox is saying yes, he would change the name.
Yeah.
Everybody. for whatever reason in the NFL, it just doesn't fit. Maybe the XFL, maybe the CFL, maybe Euro football, whatever is still out there.
That's a definite Arena League team name, the Commanders.
Yeah, that's
or like it would have been right into the USFL with with the Barnstormers.
Correct.
How many syllables?
Arena League with the Barnstormers.
I do believe they are a better football team than what the record says.
Yes, but they're just very poorly managed.
Yeah,
and morale is being sucked out of the team through the ownership.
True.
Yeah,
get rid of that owner, and that team will change.
There's too much off the field distraction for those players.
Raw sewage on the patrons.
Yeah.
You don't think that's bringing down the players' morale? Like, this is where I work. They're embarrassed.
Yeah. When that's just the thing. When teams get a new coach kind of thing, or more importantly, say a new stadium, new ownership, there's usually that bounce back positivity. Even if the team isn't that good, there's that bounce back positivity. But what we're witnessing with Washington right now, they're going to just spiral, and it's going to continue. I hope I'm not wrong the way I was with Seattle, but you can literally see it. The players don't want to talk about this, but the reporters are not going to let up, especially when you have Jim Irsay going out there saying, Dan Snyder better be careful. Like we can get rid of him if we want, kind of thing. Like, players hear that. Yeah. Agents hear that. Agents talk to their players. I
think what the Washington, all their players, what they need to incorporate is the Marshawn Lynch interview skill. I'm here so I don't get fined. Next question. I'm here so I don't get fined.
That's 15 minutes. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Here's what he is.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
Dude, his part in the Super Bowl commercial, that 100-year commercial, was fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, and they even asked, like, he showed up in sweats. He's like, no, this is what I'm wearing. I'm wearing a suit. It's like, it worked. He made it work, and it was hilarious.
Just FYI, there is a video out on YouTube of Marshawn Lynch getting arrested for DUI. He's in a friend's Mustang that has 4 flat tires and is all busted up, and he is drunk.
Is this recently, or was this the incident in Buffalo?
No, this was in Las Vegas.
The incident in Buffalo, he got pulled over for speeding, and he had a handgun in his glove box. And the other one was he backed up and backed up in a parking lot and hit a woman that was walking by.
Yeah.
So he had 2 strikes, and the Bills had Fred Jackson, and they turned around and drafted C.J. Spiller.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say nothing about Fred Jackson. Fred Jackson is a hardcore Buffalo Bill player, in my opinion.
He was a great guy.
Yeah, he's good player, good community guy, good family guy too. CJ Spiller, great running back, wrong organization for him to try and fit into. The Bills should have never let Marshawn Lynch go. And then he goes to 2 Super Bowls and win 1, and he'll probably go to the Hall of Fame now too.
Yeah. But it's
would have had 2 rings.
He should have had. If he would have got the ball, I would have just said, if he would have got the ball, he would have had 2 rings.
I think it's at that moment people really should have started to wonder, is Pete Carroll okay?
Was it Russell Wilson? There's a big conspiracy theory out there that he ignored the play call and threw the ball.
Well, honestly, that seems a little more than Pete going nuts. Well, actually, no, I take that back.
Did you guys see Sherman on primetime last week?
Yes.
He's like, I'm going to put it like I've been saying it. Run the damn ball.
Yeah. And Marshawn Lynch was there.
Yep. Richard Sherman.
Run the damn ball.
Yeah. Sherman was way too cocky at that point in his career, though, because he was calling out Darrelle Revis, and I'm sorry. As a Bills fan, Revis was spectacular to watch. But he just created this feud that didn't necessarily have to happen. And when the Patriots played the Seahawks in that Super Bowl, I can remember him like making like number signs to the camera, and then they got picked. And then the look on Sherman's face was just priceless. Like, dude.
Well, the thing was, Revis traveled like Joe Hayden. Revis and Joe Hayden traveled. Sherman didn't. Sherman stayed to one side. And when you are a defensive back and they call it, they say your name and island and saying that nobody lives there, no one catches there, you can't catch a pass there. That's saying something. That's
He
next
should
level.
go to the Hall of Fame, in my opinion.
Oh, without
It's
a
like
doubt.
Yeah.
when you have guys going out of their way to avoid throwing to that side of the field, and literally would rather say, I would rather play this offense with 10 guys than try to deal with that.
Yep.
You know, that says something about how good of a player you are.
And he was quiet too. That's the best part. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't
was
mean
the thing.
quiet
You
on the
never
field.
heard
He
him
was
talk.
quiet in the media. Like you didn't hear him trash talk. You didn't
It
hear
was
him
great.
call out quarterbacks. Nothing like that. And he was on a very loudmouth Jets team. Like
Yeah.
Rex
Oh,
Ryan
yeah.
was there during those times, like
Oh.
a lot of those years. And yep, Terrell Revis. I can't remember any big headlines where he called someone out.
No, he showed up, did his job, did it well, went home.
Yep.
And
he trained so hard, like
that is what you
like
want.
Jerry Rice level of training.
Yeah, it was like Frank Gore. Uh-oh. What just happened?
Gus Edwards is playing tonight.
No,
Had to check before. I had to check my lineup before.
Come on, man. But I do say this, and speaking of, actually no, because we didn't trade him away, we traded away another one. Sucks. Calais Campbell's out tonight.
That's gonna
Call
hurt.
him old if you will. I fear him, and everybody else in the NFL should as well. That man is a danger.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, he's a mountain. He's so big.
And he's so old, but yet he's still so good.
Yes.
and he's so charitable. He's such a nice guy away from
That's
the
the
field.
thing. He's a crazy
he's-
nice dude.
You talk to him, it's like, are you just messing around before you hurt me? Like, are you just playing with me here? Because he's just super nice.
Yeah,
Really.
and beast of a man. But yeah, the charitable work that you hear that Campbell does is incredible.
He's
And
what
it-
all players should want to be on the
Yes.
off the field.
100%.
Oh, and
Like,
actually,
honestly,
what old time players were.
I'll throw Stephon Diggs in that mix too. He is 100% what players should strive to be off the field.
I went to Detroit to see a game a couple of years ago, and it was the Vikings versus the Lions. And Stephon Diggs, as a Viking, then went around the entire field before the pre-game during the warm-ups or whatever, and was playing catch with all the kids and some men and some women too. And some people caught the ball and looked at it, and he was like, yo, throw it back. And he did this all the way around. And I'm like, Stephon Diggs. And I'm like, this is this guy is not a diva. Why are they talking about that? And then he comes to Buffalo. I still think that trade still has yet to be called, in my opinion. He does the same thing every game, goes around all the way around the field, Stephon Diggs, and plays catch with everyone in the stands. And everyone knows at this point in Buffalo, you throw the ball back to Stephon Diggs when he's playing catch with you, or he'll call you out.
They do their training camp probably 15 minutes away from where I live in Rochester.
Yep.
And the media hype around Stephon Diggs in Rochester, because he's always out there. He's working with some organization in the area because he predominantly does Buffalo, but when he's out here, I think in camp, there was a little girl who had just lost her mom. He gets up in the bleachers, sits down and talks to her for 15 minutes. And it's like, this is what a good human being should be, or should do. And this is what football players should strive to be. And it was really cool. And everybody loves him. Plus, he's one of the best players out there in the league right now. So he's got that going for him.
I think he's the number one wideout in the league.
If not number one, definitely top three.
Yeah, he's top three for sure.
Yeah, if not
Top three for sure.
Make an argument for any of the top three I have in my head to be
True.
number one.
You talking Justin Jefferson and Cooper Kupp with him?
No, I'm throwing
Kupp's not having the
weirdly,
best
as much as
season.
I'd throw Tyreek Hill in there right now.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Tyreek Hill's
Jefferson.
proven that he can do it anywhere. He did it in Kansas City, and now he's doing it in Miami.
Yeah. And
I
right
like
now,
Tyler Lockett,
he's one of
too.
the premier wide receivers in the game.
Yeah, I just like those guys that can get to the sideline, get the 2 feet down, or go for the sideline, stop, and then go right back to the middle of the field.
And
I like players like
another
that.
thing that a lot of wide receivers, even some of the top names, they just don't have the football presence. And like Juju doesn't have this, obviously, and neither does Chase Claypool. Presence of mind of where you're at in the game. Like if you're in a 2-minute drill and you get a first down and you get up to celebrate, what are you doing?
I can see LeBron.
Exactly.
Right after that happened with Claypool, the next day they spliced in the thing of an exact same situation with Larry Fitzgerald doing it. Larry threw the ball to the referee, started running, and actually kind of helped the referee back to the ball or to the line of scrimmage a little faster. It's like, go.
That's Belichick football too, by the way. Tom Brady talks about that. That's people talk about the Patriots way. That's the number one thing in the Patriots way. In 2 minutes, you don't mess around. As soon as you hit that ground, you pop up and you give the ball. You hand the ball off. If you can put it in his hands directly, you don't throw it. You don't mess around. You don't celebrate. You put it there and you line up because Tom Brady is going to try and throw the ball before that defender gets off the field so they can get the too many men on the field penalty. That's the Patriots way.
Because Bill Belichick is one of the smartest men to ever grace the NFL.
100%.
Like him or hate him, you cannot deny he's one of the smartest football geniuses ever.
Yeah, I know what Claypool was thinking, especially coming from where he went to Notre Dame. Did he? I know he's a Canadian, but he can't.
He went to Notre Dame, so he should have been coached that. They have a long tradition of doing that.
Yeah, like no celebrating. You right back.
As every great coach,
he's got talent. He's got talent. He can play. I just don't see him being a long-time Steeler.
Nope.
Claypool?
He doesn't fit the mold.
No. Well, let's put it this way.
With the
he's got 4 days, and I think something might happen. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah, maybe they'll trade him to the Rams for acres.
You know what? At this point, fine. That would be good because this pains me to say, I think Najee Harris needs to sit down. Because Najee Harris is not playing anywhere remotely close to what he should be. Jalen Warren is.
No, he's not 100%.
No, he's not. And he will not sit down. And Tomlin doesn't have the testicular fortitude to step in and do a coaching thing and sit down.
Because Tomlin is a player's coach. He's not a coach.
Well, he's other words.
Buddy with the players.
But there are other words that I would use to describe him.
And you can say whatever you want. Remember, this is a Ravens channel. You want to badmouth Tomlin all day. Go for it, bro.
He has no support in Pittsburgh anymore.
Is his tenure over, in your opinion?
All his support.
Is the tenure over for him?
It should be. They should have fired him years ago.
I gotta admit, for me, the shine went off him when he stepped out in front of, who was that Ravens wide receiver?
Jacoby Jones.
Yeah, Jacoby Jones.
He stepped out in front of Jacoby Jones, and that, like, I was just like, that's not even done in the XFL. Like,
that's
what
not
in the
even done
world
in
are
high
you
school.
doing? Like,
and everybody thought it was funny. It was a joke. He didn't know what he was doing. No,
come on.
You're a coach for how many years in this league?
Exactly.
And you knew where you were. You knew what you're doing. You could see him watching the jumbotron.
Oh yeah,
and what the refs should have done, should have awarded the touchdown, which by NFL rule they can.
I agree. They 100% should have.
Yeah, no one was catching Jacoby Jones in.
No.
At any point in his career, then he was the prime of his life.
Crazy
but yeah,
fast.
and like that, like let's just call it what it is. It was horseshit for him to say anything otherwise. But this is the biggest rival of your coaching career to date. Steelers Ravens is the biggest rivalry in that division, arguably the AFC outside of Indianapolis and the Patriots. And that only happens in the playoffs. And for him to go out there, step in front of that, and interfere in the game the way that
he should have been fired on the spot.
Yeah, he should have been suspended for the rest of the season. Like the NFL should have crushed him.
Riddle me this: who can remember what season was the last Steelers playoff victory? Yeah.
Before TJ Watt?
I think it was his rookie year. 2016 was the last year the Steelers won a playoff game.
Who was it against?
Who
was it against?
I think it may have been Denver randomly.
Okay.
But like every time they've been to the playoffs since, gone. eliminated, or just not gone. Last time they saw the AFC Championship was when they lost to Green Bay in the Super Bowl.
When they beat the Ravens.
Yes. So riddle me this, Mike Tomlin. How are your no losing seasons helping us win playoff games?
To me, that's all that matters. Winning in the playoffs. Getting in there and winning. If you can't do those, it don't matter.
Because when Bill Belichick, arguably the greatest coach in NFL history, was coaching the original Cleveland Browns, he had many losing seasons. Nobody thinks less of him. He's not less of a candidate for the Hall of Fame.
If Art Modell would not have announced that he was moving the team, that Browns team was going to fight for the Super Bowl championship. They were rolling. They were 5-1 when they announced that they were moving the team.
Yeah.
That killed the season.
And I remember when the Browns came to Pittsburgh, the original Browns came to Pittsburgh for the last time that year. Like there was like a standing like vigil. The people of Pittsburgh were upset. It's
no.
It's like getting rid of Cleveland. Like no. Like these are our rivals. Like you can't get rid of Cleveland like that.
It's for me. It sucked because I'm about an hour and a half outside of Baltimore. I'm from Pennsylvania, South Central Pennsylvania. I'm 3 hours outside of Philly, 4 outside Pittsburgh. So almost right in the center, hour and a half north of Baltimore. So I'm a diehard Orioles fan, and I was not a Ravens fan growing up because there wasn't a football team.
Right.
I was a Baltimore Stallions fan.
I was going to say you were probably right in that trend. You were probably right after that time that the Colts moved out of Baltimore for Indianapolis.
Yeah, and
literally in the middle of the
that's
night.
about when I started watching football. And at that time, I was on the Joe Montana train, man. I was a kid.
And the fact that he was from Pittsburgh, close by where you were.
I mean, it was just Joe Montana, Jerry Rice. So 49ers were my team.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was announced Baltimore was going to get a team. I was like, done. Let's go.
Yeah. And that's why for so long the Steelers-Ravens rivalry was so hard because it was the old Browns.
Mm-hmm.
And they still remembered it. This new Browns, it's not the same.
No.
It's like,
at least they got a team back. And,
exactly. It was good to see them get him back after how they lost him.
But again, they can't figure it out. I got to admit that's one of the more nicer stadiums I've ever been to. I saw the Ravens play Cleveland many years ago, and the Ravens lit them up. The first half was close, and then Joe Flacco said, "I've had enough. I want to go home," and just bomb, and that was the end of that. But the one thing I can say about the Cleveland Browns stadium and their fan base, first of all, that's the tallest stadium I've ever been any sporting event for, and I've been to Ohio State for homecoming. The two guys who I went with, one is a very hardcore Ravens fan. The other one is just a football fan. So he wore a Ravens jersey. Now, the guy that was a hardcore Ravens fan wore a Ray Lewis jersey. I, of course, said, I don't care about your allegiance to the Ravens. I'm going to wear Bills gear. So everyone was kind of looking at me like I had three heads. Anyways, I'll never forget walking along that roadway that's along the lake from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame up to where the Browns play. All the tailgating is there along one stretch of road. One person started chanting "murderer, murderer" as we walked by because my buddy Ernie was wearing a Ray Lewis jersey.
Oh, the Lewis jersey.
That spread like cancer. And it got to the point, there's a set of lights just in front of the stadium across the street. Police actually came over and walked us through a red light because so many people were swarming us, screaming "murderer" because Ernie was wearing the Ray Lewis jersey. And I thought it was hilarious. I was starting to get a little fearful because there was a lot of like drunk dudes, and there's nothing worse than drunk dudes, getting caught up in the chant or getting caught up in the group mentality or the mob mentality. But thank God the cops realized, like, we might be from here, but you guys, you're going to need a little bit of help here. And they walked us right up to the ticket takers. And then once we were inside, there was a countless like Raven fans. I'm not going to say like Steeler fans, but they traveled well. So there was a lot of black and purple there that day. So they fit in. And again, I got all the crazy looks. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, yeah, I'm an NFL fan, and the Bills are on the bye, so I have no problem being here.
But now Cleveland doesn't have a leg to stand on. Bringing in Watson. You think that the Steelers fan base is going to let him forget the past 15 years? Everything they said about Ben, all of which proven false, and him serving 7 less games for 27 less accusations.
Don't forget Kareem Hunt, who had video of him beating a woman.
Yeah,
twice apparently.
Yeah,
it wasn't just once. Apparently twice.
Yeah, and they don't
allegedly.
And now all of a sudden they're going radio silent on all that. No. You guys are going to get what's coming to you because that is not going to work.
Nope.
Somebody probably within the first 3 weeks is going to either seriously attempt or succeed in destroying Deshaun Watson's knee accidentally.
I don't know.
That's a fine I'd be willing to take. And I think a lot of people that don't particularly care for guys that do what he did to women.
Well, I'm gonna talk about Deshaun Watson's football acumen. Now, his last year he played, the last year full season he played, he led the league in passing. Okay, the Houston Texans had 4 wins. The very next season, Davis Mills comes in with a worse defense and no DeAndre Hopkins, has 4 wins. That's all I have to say about that.
And isn't it weird that Davis
Mills
is
back now too? Mm-hmm.
That Davis Mills is the quarterback out of that big draft that kind of gets forgotten, yet he's probably the one that's playing the best out of every single one of them.
He's getting better. He's getting better, and he's getting more confidence, and you can see it in his play, and you can see it in Houston's stats. I mean, they're playing better.
He's improving with not a very good team. Let's be honest.
No, it's not. But Pierce is the deal. He's legit.
Yeah, but Davis Mills, man, and because everybody's talking about everybody else that came in. What are they doing? It's unfortunate what happened to Trey Lance. Nobody wanted to see that.
3 first-round picks.
Yeah. What
were they thinking? And now they trade for McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Man, I'll tell you what.
It's tough to be.
I love John Lynch, but man, he's not being football smart right now.
I'm kind of wondering if somebody put a little something funny in John Lynch's water bottle. Is that
CTE catching up with him? I don't know, man.
Why did they traded what?
Why did they give Jimmy all that money if you're just gonna freaking get Trey Lance?
Right. And
then keep him.
And that was when it was the rumors about Trey Lance not impressing in camp started circulating. And then the 49ers come out and very loudly announce that they're not going to trade Jimmy Garoppolo. It's like, well, why?
Like they could have moved them. They could have
moved
them to Cleveland. They could have moved them to
Cleveland
Seattle.
Was the biggest one. Seattle, they didn't want to give up everything that the 49ers wanted, but they knew that they were very few. And then Cleveland got Deshaun Watson, and they knew nobody else was going to pay the price. So they were just waiting. They just had that contract sitting and waiting for the 49ers to cut.
And now some like that old phrase, the best trade you make is the one you or the trade you don't make is the best one you make. Because now Geno Smith is looking better than the entire 49ers franchise.
That team, aren't they in first place right now? Isn't Seattle in first place?
I think they are. If not, they're tied. I think they might be alone in first place.
Yeah, that's.
The Ravens are up 3-0.
I can't believe we're sitting here tonight.
Yeah,
checking to see if the Seahawks are in first place.
Well, that's the thing. Who would have?
Chris, I was right there with you. I was wrong with you, man. You weren't alone.
Well, somebody put it best. It's like, who would have thought that by week 7, just focusing on Carolina, you would have seen their head coach fired, Baker Mayfield go down, and them trade Christian McCaffrey by week 7.
And poor DJ Moore is left behind.
Yeah, and then have PJ Walker come in and beat Tom Brady.
And Seattle is in first place all by themselves by half a game. They're 4-3. The Rams are 3-3. Everybody else is 3-4.
Just
That's
what
great.
A season. What a
This-
season.
But the Ravens game is on. So
Ooh, real quick, did you notice that the leading rusher for the Baltimore Ravens with 1 carry for -4 yards is Lamar Jackson currently? He must have gotten sacked or something.
Let's go. I guess there's no point in asking Alan who's going to win tonight. Zach, who's winning tonight?
Honestly,
never mind. You're a Steelers fan,
No.
so I'll be the.
No,
I'll be
it's the Ravens. No, the Ravens are I think are the far superior team right now. Tom Brady is playing flatter than piss on a plate. They
Okay,
refuse to use their running
Chris,
back.
I have a question with your question.
Sure.
Are you asking me as a Ravens fan, or are you asking me as a football fan?
As a football fan,
As a football
what's happening
fan,
tonight?
Tampa Bay wins 34-31.
Okay.
You think they come back?
I think that they're just that's just how it's gonna be. Tom Brady is Tom Brady. Mike Evans dropped the pass. They're gonna get past it. Ravens secondary.
That'll never happen again.
We
this year.
cannot rush the passer, and we lost Calais. We don't have Calais Campbell.
That is the factor that I think is going to be the
unless Deshaun Jackson shows up and just cures all our ails. Which, come on, I don't think it's going to happen.
No,
so
this is 2022.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's going to be significantly lower scoring. I think it's going to be 21-17, but I like the Ravens in this one. I think Lamar's just going to run.
And I think it's going to come down to who has the most turnovers because that's going to be the difference.
True.
And since Lamar likes to run a lot more than Tom's going to be putting the ball in the air, and that hasn't been going well for them as of late.
So since the early 2000s, this is my impersonation of Tom Brady thanking his offensive line, and we can shut the stream down after this. He drops back, reaches down, lights a smoke. Looks. Go longer. Hold him a little bit longer. Further. Throws it away. Lights up one more. Throws. Touchdown. Super Bowl. Let's go. That's Tom Brady.